Welcome back into Football Fever. We're giving you a rundown of some of the teams and the district realignments going on around the South Plains. But now let's get into the AJ preseason super team, and it's led off by Kyle Jackson, quarterback from Estacado.
Yeah, what a phenomenal job that Kyle Jackson did last year, kind of emerging in that in the spread offense that Danny Cervantz installed there at Estacado last year. Threw for over 2,700 yards, 30 touchdowns. You know, really, and had some big playmakers with him. You know that he's going to kind of miss this year, but they've got some others coming in. But yeah, Kyle Jackson was just a fantastic job. Not only throwing the ball, but I mean he had the ability to run the ball and give Estacado a dual threat. And he should be one of the really big players to watch this year. Not just a big kid, you know, probably only about 5'10", 5'11", but he's wiry and fast and does a good job distributing the football.
Putting that team together, who are two guys on the outside that would be able to complement someone like him?
Well, you've got guys like Lance Ratliff, the receiver at Estacado, who's going to step up, and he's coming back this year. At Friendship, and Friendship hadn't been able to throw the ball just as much as Brad Davis has liked the last couple of years, but with Lance there, they'll be able to throw the ball. You got guys like Ryan Waygood at Sundown, a phenomenal receiver there. That really adds some balance to Sundown's offense. Not only with their running game, but with their passing game as well.
Friendship might have an easier time passing the ball with that big guy protecting some of their quarterbacks.
Yeah, when you say big guy, when I have to look up to somebody, and I'm 6'5". When I have to look up to somebody, they're big. And Mason Walters defines big. Mason Walters about 6'7", 6'8", good 300 pounds. Already committed to the University of Texas. And he's a great football player, but when you sit down and you talk to him, you see how humble and down to earth kid he is. He's just a really good person, and he's going to anchor that Friendship offensive line really well. And they've got 4 guys coming back, and Friendship does, on that offensive line, but he definitely the anchor there at center.
One guy who wouldn't mind having someone like him on his team is John Heffley, coming back at Sundown. 33 touchdowns last year, over 2,000 yards. I mean, how does he top that this year?
Well, I think about the only thing you can do to top that is win a state championship, and they are certainly capable of doing that. You mentioned, his yardage. John Heffley was just an outstanding talent. Has the speed to be able to run it outside, but is also a tough kid and can go inside. And he's a real good complement to the rest of the talent on that team, but he's also going to stand out a lot of times for Sundown, and he's going to be the focus that I think a lot of teams are going to have to go through and stop when they say when you stop Sundown, or when you try to stop Sundown, you've got to stop John Heffley.
A lot of talent on offense, but also on defense, and we'll visit with Coach Mike Speck here in a second. He's got some talented guys in his secondary.
Yeah, definitely. One of his talented guys is one of his safeties, and Devonic Freeman. Devonic is actually a very good two-way player. Played some quarterback last year, and when they would also kind of do some direct snap to Devonic Freeman and get him the ball and let him get outside and use his talent. But he's also part of a very good secondary. Devonic is, and a outstanding talent there in the backfield.
Who heads that front line for the defense?
Well, front line, you've got a lot of guys that I think are going to step up. One guy that I think we'll have to look at is actually going to be a two-way player, and that is Sean Reagan at Idalou. We've watched Sean. He started as a defensive end for Idalou when he was a freshman. Now he's a senior, and it seems like he just keeps getting bigger every year, and he's going to be one of the better talents out here. Can disrupt the pass or can disrupt the passing game of another team, but can also is a very good run stopper as well.
All right, when we come back, we'll take you into our new Chalk Talk session. We'll visit with Lubbock High coach Mike Speck. Back in the field.